Hi, I'm Kim from MC, and we're going to discuss grooming our horse today. Grooming our horse is done for many reasons. One is to remove any mud or caked on areas before we put tack on, or your horse will get a sore. Another reason for good grooming is just to double check your horse, make sure that there's no cuts, bumps, swellings, anything like that. Another reason is to make sure that our horse is nice and shiny, okay? It helps to shine up her coat and helps her to look pretty. We're going to talk about hoof cleaning separately and make our little video about that. So this we're just going to talk about brushing. We have grooming kits in the tack room. Everybody should get a grooming kit. And the grooming kit should be placed safely out of the reach of the horse. We don't want them stepping in it. Again, we don't want to keep things in our barn aisle because people have to sweep and we have machinery and stuff. So we're going to set it by the front door here. The first thing I like to use is what we call a dandy brush and a grooming, or a curry comb, sorry. We're going to clean this. So the dandy brush has very hard, stiff bristles. We don't use it on the face or below the knees or hocks on our horse. So it's mostly just for the body. It loosens up any dead hair, any mud, that kind of thing. Sometimes, depending on how sensitive your horse is, you have to be careful how you groom it for the pressure that you apply to it. Now, with this particular brush, I give a few brushes and then I clean it so you can see how the hair falls off. There's no point grooming a horse with a dirty brush. You're just moving dirt around. We actually want to take the dirt off. Dandy brushes, you brush the direction of the hair, but if there is a muddy area, you can also scrub a little bit lightly, okay? It helps loosen everything up and get the hair out of them in any muddy spots. Abby's not muddy today, luckily, and we're going to clean it again. Once you've done that, the next brush you're going to need is what we call a body brush. It's very soft. A body brush can be used exactly like it says, anywhere on the body. Again, I keep my curry to clean my brushes. Always brush away from you. If you brush towards you, all the dirt goes on you. So you can see how dirty it is. When you want to clean out your curry, just lightly pat it on something. So we start with our horse's face. We don't want to just approach them head on, but nice and gently start with the side, and you can see she quite enjoys being brushed. We can brush the direction of her hair. Whoops, this isn't a very good brush. Down over her eye. We'd never brush up into her eye, or you're going to put dirt and debris and bristles into her eye. So everything gets brushed down. This brush we use in short flicking strokes like this, so that we flick. You can see how it's flicking all of the dead hair and dirt. Only in the direction of the hair. Okay? This brush, you can generally use quite a bit of pressure with it because the bristles are soft. You can brush all the way down her legs, her feet, everywhere. Good idea to really brush their belly. You've got to bend over and actually look and see. Another thing I like to do is run my hands on the horse, make sure I haven't missed any spots. The other thing I do is always run my hands down my horse's legs just to feel, make sure everything feels okay. Their legs should feel cold to the touch. No hot spots, no swellings, no lumps, no cuts, things like that. So there, we're just brushing one side today to make it quick. I'm always standing beside my horse, aware of what's going on around me. Brushing down her feet, the insides of her legs. There you go. Next thing I like to do is brush their manes and tails. We have a nice mane and tail brush here. Start at the front and you just comb out her forelock. And it really doesn't matter the order that you do your brushes, other than if they're muddy, you use the dandy brush first, okay? There are a lot of people that would brush the mane and tail first. Again, I just brush the mane. I walk under my horse holding the halter, come to this side, brush her mane down. Back under my horse, holding the halter, looking at what's around me. I'm going to groom her tail. It's a really good idea, if you can, to purchase your own Shoshin. It's a detangler. Spray it in your horse's tail before you brush the tail. Let it dry before you brush it. So I'm going to stand away from my horse, but beside her back legs. And I'm going to grab her whole tail, and starting at the end on my leg, I'm going to brush out the knots. Just, you know, I'm sure some of you girls who have long hair would do the same thing. You wouldn't just start brushing at the top of your head. You start at the bottom, and you can see that the brush slides through very easily. What we don't want to do is be pulling all of the hair out of our horse's tails. So it takes about 7 years to grow a tail hair. So you can appreciate that if you're grooming it a lot and pulling all the hair out, because of the tangles, you're going to lose your horse's tail. The other thing you can also do too, if you're in a hurry and quick, is just pick out some of the shavings and hay that are in the tail. Now I'm going to start at the top here, brush the top part of her tail. There we go. And again, if I come into any knots, I'm just gently easing through them. I'm not just yanking and reefing on them. Once I get that done, I grab the whole tail again, let down a few hairs, brush those, add a few more, a few shakes every time until I get the whole tail brushed. All the while standing here beside her, constantly aware of what's going on around her. There. And that's got her tail nicely groomed. The last thing I'm going to do is go over her with a towel, okay? This is an important part of grooming that a lot of people miss. So again, starting at her head, I'm going to just wipe any dirt off of her hair, okay? So when you're grooming them, you bring a lot of dirt to the surface. The other thing I do is clean her eyes. So I gently just kind of wipe, yes, Abby, wipe down towards the corner. They get a lot of gunk in their eyes. You don't want to wipe anything into the eye, so you always wipe down towards their nose. Again, I like to clean my horse's nose as well. Just give it a nice little wipe, and their mouth. And most horses love to be rubbed by the towel. And then I rub, you know, and you can see I'm pressing fairly hard, and I rub all the dirt off my horse. This is what helps keep our horses nice and shiny and gets all the dirt from our prior grooming off of them. Again, it's also a good hands-on technique to feel your horse. I'm going to walk around the back of her, I'm going to be touching her, talking to her, and I stay very close to her hind legs and wipe down the other side. There. And now, my horse is ready for tack.